the Fourth Estate for coming here for this conference, presser. As a youth leader, as a national youth leader, I wanted to give out my the views of the youth concerning the ongoing dialogue that is currently at Bomas. I want to say a few things. It is our prayers of the young people that the ongoing dialogue really gets to fruition, and the parties involved agrees to disagree. We don't want to see a country take the trajectory that it took before the dialogue. And we really hope for a conducive environment that, you know, women can do their business, the youths can really also go on with their issues as usual. And we can support the country and the government of the day to discharge their functions and to deliver their promises to the people. Because the moment there is the political discourse, we are going to see the government fail, and the government will blame that on the demonstrations that will be going on. And the oppositions will also not be able to, keep government on watch because the nation will be chaotic. I want to say this. Among the issues that should be dialogued at Bomas according to our views as the young people, we know that elections were done, and as a student of law, a president was declared, and nothing can change about that until 2027 elections. There's no shortcut about that. And every young person, every Kenyan should be alive to that fact that President William Ruto will serve for 5 years until next election. Another thing, I don't think that the issue of IBC is a serious matter of concern for parties to discuss, because in the law there is a clear procedure on how the IBC Commission should be established. And I think that if we are law-abiding citizens, we should just allow the process that is outlined in the Constitution to be followed while constituting the IEBC Commission. The issues that should be discussed, according to us, the young people who really suffer, one should be unemployment, because youths are unemployed. They are not jobs. So the opposition can come together with the government, because this is an issue that affects the nation, and agree that what is the best way forward for these youths to get at least something to do. You can talk about, kazi kwa vijana, ama kazi mtaani. The government and the opposition can come up with ideas that can ensure that youths are not idle. Another thing that the opposition and the government can discuss in the dialogue should be about the cost of living that is affecting all Kenyans. And that is a serious issue that we really think that these people can give priority. Another thing that I, as a young person, expect that should be discussed in the dialogue, we've seen in the past, leaders from both political divide come out, abusing each other, insulting each other. And these people, these leaders that are being insulted, are also leaders that have families. I've seen, for example, the president at some point was saying, mtu wa mganga, mtu wa kitendawili. Those are not words that should be used by leaders, referring to other leaders. You know their titles. Please, why don't you use their titles? I've also seen Raila Odinga, His Excellency Raila Odinga, also referred to Rigathi Gachagua as Gachietha. Those are insulting words. Let us sanitize our politics. Let our politics be issue-based. Let us debate. Let us talk things that even when, as young people, we look at you as our leaders, we admire, and you inspire us to also work hard and become leaders. But when you bring insulting languages, you start insulting each other. What do you think the families of these people feel when they sit down, watch a national television, and they see their father being referred to as a Gachietha? The other one also sees, Winnie Odinga sees their father being referred to as Mganga. So it is I'm calling upon all leaders from both political divides that please let us sanitize our politics. Let us be respectful to each other. We can disagree to agree on issues, but we cannot make politics look like it is a matter of life and death, and you must insult one another a better way so that maybe people can like you. Lastly, I would also like to urge, the people who are, sitting for the dialogue, that please can you also address the issue of the police. When you go to other countries, the foreign countries, you will find that the police service is really professional. In Kenya, you find police are like enemies to ordinary Kenyans, and Kenyans are also seeing police like enemies. So is there a better way that the police and the public, the ordinary Kenyan, can interact without feeling that, with that suspicion? Can the police be professional? Can the police think that these are our brothers and sisters? Can we have a way that these ordinary Kenyans also see police as their brothers and sisters? And if we can find a way, amicable way of improving the police service, beginning from their bosses should give commands downward on how the police should relate with the ordinary Kenyans. I think if those issues are addressed, we are going to have a better Kenya, and we are going to see a peaceful Kenya, and we are going to see outlined roles. The opposition will be checking on government, and the government will be discharging their functions without any interference. And I think mature democracies like US, you've seen how it works, even without somebody necessarily having numbers, so that things can pass. And I also plead with our parliament that can our members of parliament be objective, because Kenyans really rely on them. And as much as we are elected on political parties, we really expect our members of parliament to be objective in their discussions, and be objective in whatever roles they play on behalf of the citizens who elected them. I think, in my view, we shouldn't do things the same way like we've always done before. Handshake just brought peace, but it brought nothing else. Actually, during the handshake, there was a lot of, looting from both lieutenants of Baba and those lieutenants of Uhuru. To be honest, you remember the Kemsa haste. You remember a lot of scandals were there during the handshake. And I remember even at one point when Kenyans were raising issues to do with the, high taxation. Leaders whom we expected to defend, Kenyans said that, the government must borrow so that they discharge their functions. So handshake is not good for the country. We can always not have handshake every year in, year out after every elections. So we must be objective if we want to move this country forward. There must be opposition to check the government, and there must be government. And I want to plead with our leaders from the opposition that please don't lie to Kenyans that there's no president in place. Because I've seen this, and sometimes I get sad when leaders say that President Bandia. You can only say President Bandia if you don't understand the law. Once as president is sworn in, he is the president legally, and you must live with that. So we have the president in place until 2027. That is something that should be very clear. And I expect any leader that is addressing the nation under whatever capacity to accept that there is a president and there is a deputy president. Respect is earned, it is not given. So our leaders should, when you expect to be respected, you also show that respect to your fellow leaders so that you are respected in equal measure.